Good afternoon, I'm Tracy Sinclair, and we are going to talk. There were 3 different fires in the Anchorage area last night within the space of about 2 hours. 2 of them involved injuries, 1 of them did not, but again, it was three fairly large fires in the space of about 2 hours. Before we get to that, I do want to provide an update on that situation over by East Anchorage High School. We brought that to you a couple hours ago. About over at East High School, there was a large police presence. We were initially told that there were reports of a student threatening another student with a gun. This was one of the videos that our crew shot when they were there. And we now have a little bit more information. This was from the principal over at East Anchorage High School, and they said there was a large police presence because of a report of a suspected person with a weapon who was near Betty Davis East Anchorage High School. So both East Anchorage and Russian Jack Elementary were put into lockdown. This happened at about 12:15. East Anchorage called the Anchorage Police Department, and they responded to both the campuses. The lockdown was lifted at about 1 o'clock at the direction of Anchorage Police. According to the East Anchorage principal, students and staff are safe. There was no weapon found at this point, but there is an active investigation, and they will be continuing to investigate that situation. Of course, we will bring you what information we can find as we delve deeper into what happened today over at East Anchorage. But the lockdown has ended. A little bit more information at this point. No weapon has been found. Turning to some of what we came on to talk about, those fires from last night. There were 3 separate fire incidents in the space of about 2 hours in the Anchorage area. They resulted in 3 different buildings being damaged and 3 people requiring treatment at the hospital. This was the first scene. Let's see, oh, my video's not there. Well, I apologize. I had video of the scene, but for some reason it is not playing properly. So I will just explain to you what's going on, and then I will get the video brought in later. Basically, the first incident happened at 10 o'clock near 30th and Arctic, and this was pretty well established by the time the fire got there. The good news is everyone in the units, there were 41 people that were displaced, but every apartment had a working smoke detector. Now, this was the occupants were evacuating when the fire department arrived. There were people helping them as well as Anchorage Police. They did bring in a second crew. In total, 23 fire department units were responded to this incident. As I said, all of the units had working smoke detectors, so that's good. Overall, the fire was under control in about 52 minutes. 1 person was treated on scene for injuries and then taken to the hospital in stable conditions. There were a number of people displaced, and they were given shelter by the Red Cross over at the Spenard Rec Center. The investigators have looked at that fire already and determined that it was caused by improper use of smoking materials and was unintentional. While that fire was happening, a second fire was discovered at a commercial car wash on Old Seward Highway. And this was discovered actually by the fire department, one of their units going by, noticing the fire. It happened about 10:05. They did stop. They called in for more assistance. There were 2 people trapped in the building by the fire. So the fire department forced entry and were able to rescue those 2 people. They were both treated on scene but then sent to the hospital with injuries. About 15 units responded to that fire, and that again, from about the time they noticed it at 10:05, it was under control by 10:21. At this point, they don't know what caused the fire in the vehicle inside the building to start, but they do believe that it was unintentional. And then the third fire was reported at about 11:06 last night, and that was near Fairbanks Street and West 70. 13 units were assigned to this fire, and they have determined that this was caused by a warming fire that was built too close to the building. It was burning the side of the building and up into the roof. At this point, they say there were no injuries were associated with that third fire, but they did want to stress how important those smoke detectors are. As we said, they were able, all of the units at the original fire department, or original fire, had working smoke detectors, so that's good news. We do have 3 people that have been injured in these fires. We are continuing to follow this story. In fact, our crew is going to be speaking with the Assistant Fire Chief here in just a few minutes, so we will have that for you tonight on Alaska's News Source.